Hello guys, welcome to Sugilanon channel. By the way, heto na naman tayo for our second time for in the sessions of science category. By the way, sa lahat ng mga viewers ko, mga avid fans, I'm going to explain to you what's all about my channel. By the way, my channel is Sugilanon channel, and of course, meron po akong tatlong niche. Ang first is science, second is education, and third is adventure or travel. A while ago, previously, if you could see in my YouTube channel, marami akong na-upload na mga travel adventure. Of course, kasi nga that's part of my niche, and iba't ibang mga adventures all over the Philippines somehow might be, hopefully, in the outside of the country, the Philippines. But today I'm going to upload another video about science, no? Science, kasi nga ito lang naman ang aking expertise, so that is why pipiliin ko na to, science. By the way, today, I'm going to present to you the kita niyo to sa aking PowerPoint. So what's the first slide, if you could see? Okay, what's the title? Essential Laboratory Tools for Every Chemistry Students. Every chemistry students nadadaan sa aking mga kamay. Well, this is a revised editions of common laboratory apparatus. Okay, of course, you will be expecting to learn in chemistry. Basta chemistry subject, meron niyang mga laboratory activities. By the way, but before we proceed with our real topic, content, ano-ano nga ba ang dapat nyong matutunan sa video na to? Well, this video is very nasa sense of information, because this is all about essential laboratory tools for every chemistry student. Every lessons, no, to be done inside the classroom is meron yang mga objectives. For today, I am your chemistry teacher, Sir Rafael Padla Inson. Yehey! Kaway-kaway naman kayo dyan sa mga relatives kong mga Padla clan and Inson clan also. Let's go back to our topic. Ano ang dapat mong matutunan sa panonood ng video na ito? Well, ito ay para sa mga estudyante na kumukuha ng chemistry subject. The first objective is, by the end of the experiment, student should be able to, well, ito yung dapat nyong matutunan, identify and explain. So students who are watching will accurately identify and explain the functions of essential laboratory tools in chemistry experiments, demonstrating a comprehensive understanding of their purpose and utility in a laboratory settings. So meaning to say, dapat nyong matutunan ang mga iba't ibang aparatos that can be used up during the experiment, and of course, not only familiarizing them but also know what are the function each of them. We have a lot of apparatus in the world, but what I'm trying to explain here is just only a common lang. I think it's around 28 lang sila na mga aparatos, and I understand na marami pong aparatos na hindi ko ma-include dito, so forgive me about it. But anyway, this is for you. Ano ang second objective na dapat mong matutunan? Well, demonstrate safe handling. Kasi ang apparatus is not just only by knowing its knowledge, but of course you have to hold it using your hand, practically handling. So students just like you will proficiently demonstrate the proper handling and maintenance of the laboratory apparatus, prioritizing safety protocols and best practices, to ensure a secure and efficient laboratory environment. Yun ang pinaka importante. What's the use of meron kang alam pero hindi mo naman alam kung paano gamitin ang mga aparatos. So you have to know it skillfully. The third and last objective na dapat mong matutunan bakit ka nanonood sa aking video. You could execute practical experiments. Students, just like you will successfully execute practical experiments using common laboratory apparatus discuss. Ito na, nag-discuss na nga ako. So, i-execute mo yun, applying theoretical knowledge to hands-on scenarios with precision and proficiency, fostering critical thinking and practical skills development. So, yun yung dapat mong matutunan sa video na ito. Well, in the next session, I understand na mag-handle na kayo ng apparatus or you will use this in knowledge. But before initiating such any laboratory work, it is crucial to acquaint yourself with a diverse array of instruments and apparatus exclusive to laboratory settings. So while these tools may not be commonly encountered elsewhere, they play a vital role in conducting experiments effectively. So take the time to familiarize yourself with these specialized instruments, understand their functionalities, and learn the proper techniques for their usage. So these preparatory steps is essential to ensure a smooth and successful laboratory experience. So where you can confidentially utilize these technique tools with precision and confidence. Ito na, let's begin. So ano-ano nga ba yung mga essential or common laboratory apparatus? Let's start with this one. Okay. Where are you? What is this one? Can you guess? Wild guess? Well, yes, that's correct. Sabi ko na nga ba, matatalino kayo. This is beaker. Ano bang function ng beaker? It is used for holding mixing liquids, commonly with volume markings for approximate measurements. Approximate, no? So meaning to say, kung kukuha ka ng mga ample of volumes of liquids na hindi mo naman kailangan ng very exact amount, gawin mo or gamitin mo si beaker. Approximate lang, maybe just an estimate. So kung gusto mong kumuha ng 100 ml pero sa experiment is exactly 100 ml, but you have to use beaker for make it your work very fast, no? Hindi necessary nga very exact din siya. So gamitin mo ang beaker. Next is 28 na ba nito? So marami-rami rin to. What you can see in the pictures, yes, you are correct. This is graduated cylinder. May graduate na ka. Well, graduated cylinder is composed of a lot of volume, no? Nakakay 100 ml, 150, 10, and 1,000 ml, very huge, dako din kayo siya. But what's the function of graduated cylinder? It is precisely measures liquid volumes, typically with markings for accurate readings. So meaning to say, accurate ang gusto. Pag sinabi ng procedure ng experiment mo na 100 ml, exactly, kasi if you will not get a 100 ml, for example, hydrochloric acid, then it will matter to the result of your experiment. So that is why gamitin mo si graduated cylinder for the exact and accurate measurements. Do not use beaker, no? Kasi nga, yun yung sinasabi sa procedure. And next is test tube. The test tube holds small amounts of substances for observations and reactions. So, there's something reactions, zinc, gusto mong mag-reproduce ng hydrogen gas out of hydrochloric acid, so you use test tubes, no? Certain reaction. Meron kang ipapa-react, gamitin mo lang sa test tube. And next is, what do you call this one? This is Bunsen burner. Provides a controlled flame for heating substances in experiment. Actually, commonly nasa present inside the laboratory si Bunsen burner. But another alternative for Bunsen burner is we have alcohol lamp, we have LPG or direct flame out of it. So marami, but somehow the totality is you have to need to use the heating process. You use this kind of apparatus. Next is pipette. Si pipette. Some other would say pronounces pipette, but commonly according to them, to the expert, is that's pipette. So maraming mga figures ng pipette. So ano ba ang purpose ng pipette? It transfer precise volumes of liquids for accurate measurements and addition. So yun ang function ng pipette. So maraming, for example, gusto mo mag-add ng very minute amount of liquid, gamitin mo na si pipette kasi nga makaka-measure ka doon ng 0.5 ml, 1 ml for example, kasi nga ang hirap gamitin si graduated pag 1 ml ang kunin mo. Si pipette na. Okay? So that's it. And next is, dami pa to, bilisan ko lang ha. So, yes, Erlenmeyer flask mixes and stores liquids especially for titrations and reactions requiring swirling. So actually, the Erlenmeyer flask is not a device used to get to amount of volume of liquid. For ano lang siya, for storage and for titration reaction. Kung gusto mong mapareact directly yung without using a steering rod, swirl mo lang yan using your hands in a clockwise manner or counterclockwise. It depends on how comfortable you are. So that's Erlenmeyer flask. And next is what's this one? Yes, steering rod. Steering rod appears just like in the picture that meron silang ganyan, but other steering rods meron siyang parang some like spatula at the tip of that, no? Pero the basic figure of steering rod is yung stick lang talaga siya. Ano ba nga? Steering nga eh. So, pang-steer siya to solutions or mixture to ensure uniform distributions of substances. Yun yung function ng steering rod. And alam ko, meron na kayong idea. Ano ba to? So, ito si watch glass. Watch glass covers beakers to prevent contaminations or evaporations, also used for crystallization. Pangtakip lang si watch glass. For example, you have something to heat in a beaker, in iodine or whatever, in an evaporating dish, lagyan mo lang siya ng watch glass. Kung gusto mong i-gather si resublimation of iodine or recrystallization, kasi nga mag-settle down siya doon sa watch glass. Anyway, that's the function of watch glass, no? And next is, yes, you are correct, funnel yan. Funnel. Paano gamitin ang funnel? Siya ang magiging channels of liquids into containers with narrow openings, aiding and controlled pouring. So, halimbawa, meron kang i-transfer ng amount of substance or reagents to the other container, and it's just so happen that your container is very narrow neck. At yes, to avoid spillage of any other an accident, of course, you use funnel, no? So you would transfer it completely. Next is yes, I heard you. That's crucible and lid, or sometimes commonly known as crucible and cover. Ano bang function nito? Heat-resistant container for high-temperature reactions handled with tongs for safety. Heat-resistant, imagine that term, because the crucible, say for example, meron kang sample na stone, gusto mong maging ash siya, kasi nga ashing siya eh. So, gusto mong mag-pulverize siya, ilagay mo lang yan dyan sa crucible and cover and pour it inside the furnace and set it to 1000 degrees Celsius or more than that. So, in that certain high temperature, imagine kag lava nga pula-pula na siya sa kalayo, very red, ganyan, magiging ganyan si crucible and cover until nga samples inside it will eventually became powderized or ash. So, hindi siya ma-broken down kasi nga maka-withstand siya into high temperature. Kaya niya yan. Unless lang kung if you have some other intervention from very high temperature, kunin mo doon, lagay mo sa very cold, it will break down, no? But normally, kaya niyang i-withstand ang temperature na hindi siya mag-break down, hindi siya mag-cleave. So, of course, paano yung gamitin? You not use that with your hand, no? But instead, ang init nga eh. So, do not use directly at the tip of your finger in holding that crucible and cover. But you have to use this one. How can you see? Have you seen this one? This is, yes, you are correct. That is crucible tongs. Hold the crucible using the tongs out from that furnace na very high temperature. Mag-isip-isip ka kung ayaw mong ma-accident. Heat-resistant container for high temperature reactions handled with tongs for safety. No? And next is, I know you have an idea. This is, yes, you are correct, thermometer. It measures temperature changes in reactions to monitor and control conditions. Meron kang heating process, meron kang experiment na kailangan mo to stop that certain reaction using that amount of temperature. So you use thermometer to monitor. Okay, beyond or below with that certain temperature, maybe the reaction will not take place. Have you observed ang colored may red, no? Na ang very classical, yung pinaka luma is silver, that's mercury, but due to its toxic because accidentally if the thermometer will break, no, and land in the ground, will breakage siya. So there's something kinds of toxic level sa iya. So that's why today the mercury has been replaced with the red color. It's the benzene or alcohol. Okay, it's not really toxic na siya, but we know and aware that the results is much really accurate when using silver or mercury than benzene, but somehow that's really, no, somehow if you need to get the value within the range, then that would be okay. Okay, next is, yes, that's forceps. Used to pick up small items, the primary function of forceps is to grasp, hold, and manipulate objects with precision and control. If you want to add on some very small amount of sample, no, we use forceps or any other something to hold, no, we use that one. And sorry. And the next one is, yes, this is spatula. There are many figures of spatula. Meron yung, say for example, ng recyclable spoon could be used as a spatula. Plastic, no, spoon is a spatula. If you want to recycle that after a dinner or whatever, gumamit kayo ng plastic spoon, it could serve as a spatula. Meron namang stainless na spatula. So depende ang spatula on its level of usage. Meron ding spatula na tinatawag for baking, iba yung hitsura nila, and then for laboratory spatula. But anyway, the purpose for that is to transfer solid chemicals or small amounts of powder for precise additions. And actually, other term is kutsara, you know, but in laboratory, when you are dealing with that, you use the word spatula. Yes, you are correct. This is Petri dish. So, ano ang gamit ng Petri dish? It cultivates microorganisms or small samples for observations and experimentations. You put it inside a Petri dish for other form of a laboratory activity. Usually, ginagamit siya for microorganism na E. coli, Escherichia coli, na yung mga other bacteria you want to, yes, you have to culture, you have to use this commonly sa biology, ang Petri dish. And of course, next is, yes, you are correct. Meron siyang scale, pH paper. So ano ang pH paper? To test the acidity of the alkalinity of solutions by changing color based on pH level. So actually in the 7 color, that is the neutral, then above 7 that is alkaline, basic, and then below 7 that is acidic, from green going to the yellow, and red that is acidic, less than 7, and green going to blue, violet, indigo, etc. That's a basic pH range with that one. Actually, this is not really for you to, ang pH paper if it's just for you to determine if the sample you are trying to use is acidic or basic, not really the exact amount, because if you want to get the exact amount of the pH value or the basic value or acidity value, you have to use the pH electron probe, no, katong device talaga, digital siya to determine the exact amount. So not like the pH paper, range lang siya. Next is, yes, meron dito sa, actually ginagamit to sa ating kitchen, no? Sometimes if you want to pulverize paminta, garlic, and any other form that you have to use in the kitchen, you have to use this mortar and pestle. Yes, the handle is the pestle and the mortar is the base. I have to relate a story with my student in previously, no? Sabi niya sa answer niya, kasi nilagay niya mortar and peste. Ano yung peste? Sorry for the word. But I don't know, maybe he doesn't get the word exactly, but that's some mortar and pestle. Okay, the function for the mortar and pestle is to grind mixes solid substances into powder or homogeneous mixture. And of course, yes, bilisan ko lang to, meron ka ring Wattman filter paper. Wattman is the brand of the filter paper, because if you want to filter something out of your experiment solution, you have to get only the solid particle separating away from those liquids. Yes, you have to use filter paper. Yes, Wattman, no, filter paper. The solid from liquids by trapping particles while allowing liquids to pass through. Kahit ang liit-liit ng particles na solid na hindi mo makikita sa iyong mata, if you use filter paper, yes, you would see na trap siya doon. Only liquid, very small yung molecules could able to pass through, remaining the solid part. And then you weigh it using filter paper. Okay, next, yes, this is not an eyeglass for the laboratory activity. You have to use, yes, that's a safety goggles, no? So safety goggles is a protect eyes from chemical splashes, fumes, and other potential hazards in the laboratory. So other would use this as for the purpose of maybe they're for fashion. No, that's not a for fashion when using goggles. No, for your eye protection. A lot of accidents happens inside the laboratory. Without using goggles, your eyes will eventually damage or by an accident or whatever. No, hindi na ba pwede. We cannot replace our eyes, so that is why maybe we can replace, but it take a lot of time, money, and etc. But to prevent such thing, we have to use goggles, no? Ano lang. And next is the test tube. What is the test tube? It holds multiple test tubes securely during experiments for organizations and stability. Yes, you have to just only label your test tube, no? Sample 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. Put it in the test tube rack. For example, test tube rack, by the way, is the next, not the test tube. So test tube rack eventually help you, aid you to protect your test tubes from breakage, or to put your test tube is to organize so that it will not interchange, no? So test tube rack would help you in organizing your experiment. Next is the wire gauze. The wire gauze is the one that is just like what this one, the square part, and we have the circular part. Take note, what's the purpose of the wire gauze? Supports glasswares during heating with a Bunsen burner to ensure even distributions of heat. Yes, eventually even equalizing the heat coming from the Bunsen burner, alcohol lamp, etc. Kasi nga, madidistribute dyan sa wire gauze. Ano yan? Parang pinaka-white na circular part. And that is an asbestos, I think. That is an asbestos, and that is a carcinogenic. Yes, cancer causing. So other students will try to play with that one asbestos. Carcinogenic when you try to inhale that using your nose, the fume of that asbestos, and you can eat that one. That is cancer causing. Be aware with that one. Please lang. That's a very dangerous. Yes, this is wash battle. Wash battle dispenses distilled water for rinsing equipment and washing substances. Actually, that's not only for rinsing. If you have to something additional liquid or substances or distilled water needed in your experiment, just pour it using the wash bottle. You have to label it that is distilled water or whatever kind of water that you have to put in your wash bottle. Maybe tap water, it's different from distilled water, so you have to be careful about it. Next is, it's almost how do you describe this one? Yes, you're correct. Evaporating dish. When you try to separate some substance out of your liquid, you have to evaporate the liquid part, retaining the solid part. You use the evaporating dish na mixtures of salts and water, for example. If you want to get back the sodium chloride again in the mixture of that certain water, pour it in an evaporating dish, try to heat that under the flame and let it evaporate, water evaporating to the atmosphere, remaining the sodium chloride. No? That's very amazing. Evaporates liquids from solutions to concentrate substances or remove solvents. Yes. How do you see that one? Yes, you are correct. We constantly use this kind of apparatus when I was a student in college, for our sample storage. That is desiccator. So what's the purpose of desiccator? Remove moistures from substances to maintain dry conditions or for experiments. For example, you have an experiment and you want to dry it out, you put it inside that one, desiccator. Careful in removing the desiccator, you have to rotate it in a clockwise, and it should be, yes, this is the sample substance to be dried. Yes, na siya layered, and then nasa pinaka bottom is the desiccant. When I say desiccant, say for example, they are the adsorbent, they absorb the moisture out of your sample and retain them there for a while. Actually, mag-change na ng color sa desiccant from colorless to pink. That's the time na maybe it's more, there are a lot of absorbed moistures sa imong desiccant. So what you will do to retain those colors, to regain the color, is to heat that desiccant again to make it colorless and then return it to your desiccator. That's the purpose for drying. Do not dry your sample in the room temperature. Mas daghan og moisture ang room temperature, so it would add on to the weight of your sample, so eventually you will not arrive a very accurate results. So we put it in a desiccator. And of course, this is very commonly used in biology, the microscope. Nasa mga session and parts of microscope. Micro means very minute, small, that magnifies small samples for detailed observations and analysis. If you want to get to see the sperm roaming around in the liquid of what we call that one, you could use the microscope and other small organisms. Imagine kana imong kuto kuya madkas pa, you try to put that under the lens of the microscope and you would see their feathers. It's very pangit kay ngilngig kay sa mesmerizing kaayo ang ilahang mga itsura. So It will aid you to see the minute quantity using this apparatus. Yes, you are correct. This is dropper. There are a lot of form of droppers, no. Actually, when this is commonly used for the very infant, no, baby when they get sick and their medication, they use dropper because it will spoon. It's not well. Dili siya mag-match up sa ilang or di nila kaya ikuan ang medicine. So that's why dropper lang for allowing the liquid or the syrup to put into their mouth. Or in the experiment, so if you want, one drop is 0.05 equivalent na niya. So sa duha ka drop is 0.1 ml. So that's why nga ma-estimate niya po nimo. It dispenses a small amount of liquids with positions for controlled additions. Okay? And next one, dropper, and na 30 minutes na siya. Yes, that's it. Thank you for watching and giving a time for viewing this channel. And I'm sure if you watch this video, you would learn a lot, and of course, the information that you have drawn out of this video will be yours. No, I'm just here helping you to facilitate this knowledge. By the way, before you end up watching this video, please subscribe to my channel, Sugilanon Channel. Yes, Sugilanon Channel, the unveiling story and sparking joy. So ito yung story natin ngayon. It's about, yes, essential apparatus for those students who are taking chemistry, no? Laboratory apparatus that we have to learn. Okay, so next time we will be using this apparatus. Now we have to level up and use our skills to manipulate, handle this apparatus, yes, to perform such an experiment. Okay, so thank you and God bless us all.